This is Justin with Style as Substance. In this episode, we will explore the rules of attraction. Based on the Bret Easton Ellis novel of the same name, Roger Avary's 2002 film, The Rules of Attraction, is set in the fictional Camden College and explores the intersecting love lives of several students, including the drug dealer Sean Bateman, the queer Paul Denton, and the virgin Lauren Hind. The film contains lurid subject matter, including drug use, suicide, and sexual perversion, and it utilizes a nonlinear narrative to tell its story. The film plays backward and forward, and makes use of split screen, montage, unreliable narration, and alternate realities. But for all its postmodern pandemonium and sexual superficiality, The Rules of Attraction has quite a bit of heart to it. Sex may plague the main characters' minds and dictate their actions, but they seek something more. They wish to know another person on a deeper and more intimate level. That is what they want most from life, knowing another person. Though this pursuit of knowing is overshadowed by blind infatuation and idealization towards the other person, characters are so caught up with their own attraction that they lose sight of what it actually takes to know someone. That is, if they're able to know them at all. This idea of knowing, or rather not knowing, is exemplified right at the beginning of the film, as we are introduced to the main characters through their internal monologues, as they talk about their individual hardships at the end of the world party. We are treated to three monologues at this party. Firstly, Lauren wishes to know her crush Victor, who has rejected her. She decides to move on by losing her virginity to a film student at the party, only to then wake up, realizing someone she does not know or wishes to know has taken advantage of her. Lauren states she knew it would end up like this.
I always knew it was going to be like this.
Secondly, Paul wishes to know Sean, who has rejected him. He decides to move on by seducing a seemingly gay party guest. The young man attacks Paul in response to his advances, stating that he is not gay. We learn from Paul that he correctly assumed the man's sexual orientation. Thus, Paul knows truths about him that he may not even know himself.
3 months later, the handsome dunce had an affair with a friend of mine. Within a year, he was a full-blown queen and telling people I couldn't get it up.
Lastly, Sean wishes to know Lauren, who has rejected him, so he rips up the love letters he believes she sent him in the past, and decides to move on by seducing Kelly.
I'm not ready for this sort of thing.
He takes on the false alias of Peter in order to deny her the ability to know him.
Peter the freshman.
She follows Sean to his dorm like she knew this would happen. When he sleeps with her, the monologue switches to the third person, suggesting he no longer even knows himself.
It hit him. He can't remember the last time he had sex sober.
Peter! Oh, Peter!
The narrative rewinds several months back, when these love triangles began to blossom. Sean consistently finds love letters in his mailbox.
Cried like this before, not one of you's the same.
While he is more than capable of getting laid, Sean becomes infatuated with this idea of something deeper than sex. He yearns for this mystery girl, or at least the idea of her, as he does not know her, or even know who she is.
Show me your eyes.
After meeting Lauren in the hall and having a playful exchange of dialogue, Sean mistakes her for being his secret admirer and begins thinking he knows her better than he really does. After learning Lauren has a boyfriend, Sean sleeps with her roommate Laura while fantasizing about Lauren. After sex, Laura opens up to him, but he does not want to know her. He just wants to know Lauren.
I was born in a Holiday Inn.
Better that it's not Lauren.
Lauren then finds Sean in her room. He rationalizes the situation.
I only did it with her because I'm in love with you.
However, he still doesn't truly know her yet. He thinks he does. He thinks he loves her.
Lauren, I love you. Lauren.
It's his attraction for her that gets in the way. Who she is in his mind is not the same person as who she is in reality. While Lauren is first attracted to him and interested in getting to know him, she is ultimately not the admirer Sean thinks she is, because Sean doesn't know her. This brings us to the unnamed food service girl, who appears as a wallflower throughout the first half of the film. She is a secret admirer of Sean. Despite having a deep infatuation for him, she only musters the courage to speak to him through letters. During the brief moment they interact, she is disregarded. She does not know him, and he does not know her, yet her attraction to him persists, and lets it consume her. After witnessing Sean leave with Laura, the food service girl writes her last letter.
I've written you this last letter because I know I'll never have you.
She states that she believes Sean purposely tried to hurt her.
You probably did it just to hurt me. Well, it worked. You hurt me.
Though this is not the case, as he does not even know her.
There won't be any more notes. It's last call.
Her attraction to him is too much. She is deeply hurt and enters a depressive state. She commits suicide by slitting her wrist in the bathtub.
I can't live if living is without you.
This scene seemingly comes out of the blue, as the audience barely knows her at all. She essentially is a background character up until this moment. We were given plenty of chances to notice her, just like Sean, but we don't. And that's the point. Sean doesn't know her. We don't know her. We take for granted the emotional toll our actions can have on others, those we know and those we don't. And sometimes it is a matter of not knowing that turns out to be the most damaging. Believing Lauren will never know him, Sean also enters a depressive state and attempts but fails to commit suicide. Mocking the absurdity of his own mortality, Sean fakes his death, which only further alienates Lauren.
You're so sad. Sean, you're sick.
Sean does not know Lauren just found a dead body prior, and Lauren does not know the emotional turmoil Sean has experienced. In the final act, Sean attempts to regain Lauren's attention and trust, but she rejects him, stating it is over between them. Sean responds by saying he wishes to know her.
Lauren, I want to know you.
She retorts.
What does that mean? Know me. Know me.
In her mind, nobody ever really knows anyone.
Nobody knows anyone else, ever.
We all think independently and quietly, within the confines of our own minds.
Which was kind of the idea of the film, is that, you don't ever really know what's inside of someone else's head, only you know what's inside of your own head. And reality is based on observation and really choice. We choose what we observe. We see the world, most of us see the world through two eyes, and we, through convergence, fold those two separate images together into one image. And when in reality we're seeing two eyes that see two actually different things.
Our perceptions are manipulated by our biases and attraction toward the other person and what they mean to us. Even though Sean wants to know Lauren, he is not entirely sure of what that even means or looks like. And Lauren denies him even the opportunity to know her.
You will never, ever know me.
What Lauren failed to consider, however, is this is true in her love life as well. Victor, her supposed boyfriend, and the man she saved herself for, returns to Camden from his trip to Europe. Lauren invested so much of her thoughts and time in him, without ever knowing who he really is and what he does. Likewise, Victor doesn't even know who he is anymore.
I no longer know who I am, and I feel like the ghost of a total stranger.
When Lauren visits him, he has no recollection of who she is.
I'm sorry, I don't have the slightest idea who you are right now.
What is most devastating to her is a realization that not only does she not know him, but he does not know her. The reality of attraction and the extent of knowing becomes clear as day. Paul, having been infatuated with Sean throughout the film, finds him drinking on the bleachers in the snow. Sean states that he does not want to be with Paul.
Sean, I don't... You got the wrong idea. I don't want to be with you.
Paul clarifies that he simply wants to know him.
No, I just want to know you. Just want to know who you are.
Sean rejects Paul by repeating Lauren's words.
No one will ever know anyone. You're not ever gonna know me.
Paul is left confused and hurt.
What the hell does that mean?
It means, Paul, you're not ever gonna know me. Figure it out. Deal with it.
While it is clear they are both hurt, Sean also seems to be coming to terms with rejection and the idea that nobody will ever know anyone. He is figuring it out, and he is dealing with it. This leads us to the end of the world party, where the film begins. Only now, Sean has an epiphany and escapes his destiny. Paul and Lauren meet and discuss the love letters. She states that Sean mistook someone else for her, but in the end, it doesn't matter to people like him.
Doesn't matter anyway. Not to people like him.
For these characters, individual experiences and attributes are contorted and manipulated by one's own disillusioned attraction to the other person, to the point they become someone else entirely. The food service girl, as far as the characters are concerned, could just as well be Lauren. It does not matter to them.
Not to people like us.
Sean drives away on his motorcycle into the snowy night, without knowing where he is going. He states he thought there were things about Lauren he couldn't forget, but in the end, there is one thing on his mind that he could think about. But the film cuts to credits mid-sentence. What was on his mind? Well, it's personal, and maybe we'll never know.